If you showed me the inside of this enclosure with no context as to what animal lives in there and made me guess, based on the mess alone, I would guess mice. What I would not guess is that it's one singular, chaotic dwarf hamster who was spot cleaned 3 days ago. This is 3 days worth of mess. Just 3 days. Also, to catch you up on a fun thing he learned to do last week.
Nobody saw me.
Here's the best part of that moment though. I turned around, saw him on top of the jailhouse, happened to have my camera in hand because I was filming something else, turned, filmed him, thinking in my head, I am so glad I put the perspex on top, just in case he did find his way up there, so he wouldn't be able to climb around on the bars and fall off and hurt himself. Not 2 seconds later, this happened.
Nobody saw me this time either.
Anyway, that's not an issue we're addressing today because why bother at this point? Instead, we're going to be doing a rearrangement of the inside of here because he's not had a big rearrangement since he moved in. I've moved a couple of things, changed a couple of things, a little bit at a time, but more or less the setup has been the same. At this point, it's getting a bit stale and a bit boring for him, so we're going to fix that. Because this is going to be a big arrangement, Lotus will need to be out of the way. Hey, buddy. Hi. Yeah. You look troublesome. I've got his bin cage down here. It's only got a house in it right now, so I'm just going to pull some of the toys that are already in here out and into there, so he's got familiar stuff around him, and then I'm going to move him in. You are going to be so unhappy with me when you realise what's going on. So, you're just letting me pour sand on you? Bin cage is set up, now we just have to convince him that he wants to leave voluntarily. Into the scoop, good sir. Well done. Easy peasy. I will admit I don't have the most solid plan for what I'm going to be doing with this setup. I have a vague idea of where I'm going with it. I'm not doing any DIY stuff, I don't have the time for that. But I have a lot of Night Angel products that they sent me a couple of years ago. They sent me a ton of stuff. Half of it I don't think I've even had a chance to use yet. So I will be using a lot of those items in the new setup. I just don't have a strict layout of what I'm gonna do, where things are gonna go, how it's gonna look at the end. We're just gonna wing it. Hope for the best. What I won't be doing today is cleaning out any of the burrowing substrate. I will collect the hoard, I will clean the toilet area and the nest, but the actual substrate that makes up the burrowing space is going to stay in the enclosure to keep the smell familiar. I've located some secret chaos. I had a feeling this was happening. Lotus has been nesting underneath this shelf for the last week or so. Since the temperatures have gone up, he's moved above ground because he's getting a bit hot. And I could hear some chewing and some other stuff going on. And of course I haven't had a chance to look under here yet, but I can see exactly what he's done. It would appear as though he's chewed through the wall, quite literally. That was rock. I mean, it wasn't rock, it was paper clay, but it was paper clay that looked like rock, and now it's just exposed mesh. I'm not bothered by it. Part of the point of making things from materials that are safe to be chewed on is so that they can be chewed on. There is absolutely no problem with them chewing on it. It's enrichment. You can't just make a pretty cage and expect it to stay pretty. When I have hamsters that don't destroy things, it's less fun because I can't make them new stuff every other week. Lotus is perfect. He's brilliant. Why are you stuck? When did I glue you down? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is filled to the brim with, oh my goodness. Get all that nesting out of there. I'm going to show you what he's done to the inside of this. Shawshank Redemption, but make it hamsters. We've got missing cardboard. We have a hole in the wall right there. Missing cardboard. Missing cardboard. Missing cardboard. Missing cardboard. Missing brickwork. More missing brickwork. More missing brickwork. Yes, I spent hours. In fact, I spent a couple of days building this. Am I upset that it's been destroyed? No, because he had fun doing that. Look at that. Look at the joy that he's had chewing away at this stuff. That was enrichment. That was keeping him busy. That was keeping his mind active. That is exactly what we want. This is the cover for the chamber hide. So let's see what's going on in here. Not too bad. Very neat. Very tidy. Fairly certain he's not used this as a toilet. Let's take away this one. There you can get a better look at the devastation. Incredible. A hamster can chew through an entire stone wall. Aha, 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 aha. Wow, that is a hoard. I wasn't expecting to find a hoard there because I was pretty confident I'd already located his hoard right there. I'm just going to put it in this for now. He will be getting some of his hoard back. Enough of it that he doesn't freak out that all his food stores have vanished. While I'm at it, I might as well go digging for the hoard that's down here. Oh, I forgot there were tubes here. These were 2 of the Night Angel cardboard tubes. Not a lot left of them now. It seems there isn't actually a hoard here. Ooh, based on that smell, I just found his toilet area. So the substrate here will be thrown out. Ooh, that is a bit of a stink. Rest of the cage, not even a smidge of smell. Just the toilet corner has all of the smell in the world compacted into one place. I found his poop toilet as well. For whatever reason, he has a separate poo toilet. It's a pee toilet. He is bougie. Very, very bougie. I can't recall if any of my past hamsters have had a separate poo and pee toilet. But whatever, he's a fancy lad. Given his personality, it would almost be weirder if he did have normal toilet habits. Fortunately, the poop has no smell to it whatsoever. Only the urine smells with hamsters. Of course, in order to go through the substrate this thoroughly, that means that all of his burrows have been completely destroyed. So I do want to reiterate, this is not normal cleaning practices. Normally with hamsters, when you're doing a big bedding clean, you do either 1/3 or 1/4 of the enclosure at a time, and you leave anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months in between each big clean out. That method is considered the standard practice these days. It's the method that causes the least amount of stress for the hamster and does the least amount of destruction to their burrow systems. Now, once in a while, for one reason or another, you will need to completely destroy everything, whether that's because you need to do a full clean out for medical reasons, if you have to move the enclosure somewhere else, if you have to change the type of substrate you're using, or in cases like this where your hamster's been in the same setup for a long, long time and you need to do a renovation just to keep the place exciting and enriching and not boring. But fully destroying their burrow system like this is something that should only happen on an infrequent basis. You have to keep in mind, this is their home, this is their territory, this is the one place that they feel safe and secure, and if you're going in on a frequent basis and ripping all that up, it's not going to make for a very happy hamster. Initially, my plan was to put the new furniture into the enclosure while still keeping the substrate in there, but immediately I can see that is not going to work. So we're going to take the substrate out, put it to one side, set up the furniture in the new layout, and then re-add that same substrate back into the enclosure so that when Lotus goes back in, it still smells like his home, his territory, and his safe place.
Your heart ain't feeling right. I'd love to steal up all of them, say goodbye to pain and sorrow every day and every night. I once heard somebody say, this is living don't come easy, and you never find your way. And if you try to walk alone, you're already lost, believe me. And if the word rings true, There's darkness before light. Find somebody and get together. Make love last forever, every day and every night.